Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Before I start rambling about shit I hate, I want to mention that this video is kind of going to be experimental. I'm going to be using VR gameplay in the background, which you're probably already seeing. So some people may like it and some people may not like it because there's too much movement and they dislike regular gameplay. Regardless of that, if you do or don't, letting me know in the comments would actually be really helpful. That way I know to record more in the future or just to kind of leave it behind. And one last thing, when I made that 1K subscriber video, I was talking about making a Q&A. Now there's not really like a whole lot of questions and I don't want to make a video that's like 2 minutes long. So in my server I made a text channel called Q&A for anybody who actually wants to ask a question and have it in a video, which I most likely will answer since it makes things more compact and easier to edit. So if you do have a question for me and you want to see it in a video and have me answer it, you can put it there, and if you don't want to join the server, that's entirely fine. You can leave it in a comment here or in the 1K video just so it's more organized. Otherwise, if you do want to join, the link is in the description. That aside, let's get started with the video. Now, the video is related to my pet peeves. A lot of these may be pretty fucking taboo, to be honest. Some of which some of y'all might relate to, but probably not. The first pet peeve I want to get started with is old people in public. I just want to mention really quick that this is entirely a me problem. So I never act on this because there's no reason for me to. I should probably specify this a bit better. It's what old people do in public, not just... I don't hate old people. Anyways, I'm sure most people have experienced this and seen this in public many times before, but what bothers me the most is old people and their phones. Now, I feel like I experience this more often than other people though, since I go to hospitals very often and there's a lot of elderly people there, but there have been countless times where I'll just be sitting in a waiting room with lots of other people, and you know, in general, it's pretty quiet. Nobody, like, everyone's minding their own business, and then out of nowhere, everybody in the entire room gets jump scared by an old lady's ringtone that's like a boat horn at max volume that's louder than literally anything else in the entire room. And right, I get it, some older people are harder of hearing, and I understand that, and that's fine. What really kind of sets me off is when they slowly pull out their phone, they grab their reading glasses, look at the name, and then like kind of whisper it out loud to themselves and don't answer the phone until the very last second. Now, the next thing that bothers me, which is actually what pushed me to make this video, I was talking to my friend, and we were looking up what people are called who do nails, right? Like how they like trim nails or just kind of work in that kind of industry. And we looked it up, and I found that they were called nail technicians. I don't know what it is about it, but inflated job titles make me lose my shit for some reason. I think it's over the years hearing job titles change into more ridiculous and like over-glorified names has just like one by one kind of just started bothering me. Like, for example, a custodial engineer. That is just a janitor. Or for another example, I cut grass, okay? I don't think I'm ever unironically going to call myself a landscaper, which kind of really is the only name you can give someone who cuts grass. When I think of landscaper, I think of someone who does like all of the above for yards and stuff, like potting and planting and, you know, shaping your bushes and trees into really weird shit. If you ask me what I do, I turn on the weed whacker, I completely zone out for half an hour before I realize I'm on the other side of the property, completely covered in grass. And what did I do the entire half hour that I lost consciousness? I shortened your grass by about 3 inches and I accidentally flung dog shit all over your windows. Now I get it if it looks good on a resume, but if you're unironically calling yourself overglorified names when you know damn well you don't do it, that's the... That's the kind of shit that bothers me. I think the one thing that bothers me the most is when people call themselves influencers. Like a lot of people who do YouTube or TikTok that make videos, you can call yourself a YouTuber or a TikToker or even like a content creator, because in a literal sense and even in general, that's exactly what you are. You create content. But I've met and interacted with a lot of people who have hit like a pretty decent number of followers on social media accounts, specifically people on Instagram. I don't know why, but people on Instagram have this habit the worst, where they'll hit like maybe a little over 10k followers, and they'll maybe like a meme account where they'll post like their fucking 15th Obama meme that week, and then they'll label themselves and their job title as influencer. It's like, you're not influencing anybody. You're shit posting a meme you stole and then going to sleep for the rest of the day. I don't know, people that continuously call themselves influencers seem very egotistical. It's not everybody though, obviously. There's just like a good portion of people who let like followers get to their head and they think they can run for president the next day. Now, these next two things are quite possibly my biggest pet peeves. They go hand in hand and genuinely make me dislike you as a person. And the first one is compulsive liars. And this isn't about people lying about something because people are egging them on to share some sort of personal information about them. This is about people who lie about their entire personality, and not only that, but also lie to people and think that they're fucking stupid. Like, people are gonna listen to like the bogus shit they're making up and actually believe it. So this kind of folds into my next pet peeve, which again goes hand in hand, and it's this. People who like to one-up. It is so incredibly annoying either telling a story or listening to someone else tell a story, and then there's that one person who interjects with their own story that is slightly related, but it's so overly exaggerated and has such fucking meticulous detail that you know it's a load of shit. Now, for example, I was talking to a person a long time ago. No longer speak with this person for very obvious reasons. I don't exactly remember what I was talking about. It had something related to programming. I said I wanted to like start programming or like learn it because I was interested in it. And this person's response was that they're good at programming because they can and have caused a blackout in their entire city before. Now, every time I had interacted with this person before, they had made some shit up that was very obviously a lie. And this one was so fucking outlandish that I kind of got sick of it. So I said, "You're full of shit." And the response to me was, "I don't care if you don't believe me. I can black out your house right now." And I said, "Then do it." And you know what happened? Fucking nothing. Now, on a different instance with a different person, I don't exactly remember the conversation that sparked it. I think my friend was talking about edibles, and his coworker chimes in and says that he did 6 grams of fentanyl. Now, at the time of hearing this, I knew this was horseshit, but I never actually really knew the lethal dose, so I decided to look it up just for the sake of this video. That is over 3,000 times the lethal limit. Maybe I'm just a lightweight, guys, I don't know. Kind of thinking about it now, people that like to do like the whole one-up bullshit and like constantly lie about things, there's 2 reoccurring things that I always hear in really obvious lies. It's people who like to gloat about doing really hard drugs or getting hit by a fucking car. I don't know why that second one is a thing, but it's so common. It's always the same shit. Like, oh, I landed on top of a car from like 8 stories, or I got hit by a car going like 40 miles an hour, broke both of my legs, and then land in a puddle of conveniently placed acid. Oh, and the person that hit me, they just vanished. They don't even exist anymore. Oh, and my injuries, I'm just walking around like brand new. No long-term effects of having my pelvis crushed, or somehow my leg is completely turned the other way. Yeah, this shit happens. And like for the drug one, you'll hear somebody say like, "I did like 3 bumps of cocaine through my butthole and stuck a heroin needle in my forehead. Next morning, I woke up in another city. Took me 3 days to get back home." Oh, so you did this when you were like 16? Yeah. Where were your parents? They were sleeping. Obviously, I'm exaggerating some of these stories. Not the first 2 that I told, but I think my point is coming across, so like where things just don't add up in their stories and they never proceed to explain these things even when you ask. It's that kind of shit that bothers me. And the lying itself doesn't bother me as much as the one-upping, because people who one-up try so hard to make themselves look so cool in the process that they shut down other people's stories and make their experiences seem less significant. It's just a very insufferable attitude. Like, your personality is just telling stories that you made up. Now, to be honest, yeah, you're most likely to meet these kinds of people online because chances are you're gonna meet someone who doesn't show their face, or you don't know them in person, so they're more likely to lie. And I do spend a lot of time online, so I have met like a decent handful of people who do this. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. And like I said, if you like the gameplay or not, let me know. That would be really helpful. Discord link is in the description if you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching, and come back for the next.